Hi guys. I'm already crying. These are tears of joy. I'm honored to be here today. Forgive me for the tears. When I was first asked to speak to you guys, thank you. I actually said no. Thanks. I said no because I didn't know how my story would come into this celebration. You know, this is such an amazing weekend, and I didn't want to be a downer. But as I took the time to think about it and pray about it, I realized this is a topic that is so important for me to continue to shed light on. And I will stop crying, I promise. This topic is so prevalent in our society today. And unfortunately, it's so misunderstood and it's so undertreated. For those of you who may not know, I struggled and battled with major clinical depression for over 20 years. And some of you might think, yeah, that's life, right? Everybody has depression and you've got sad days. But I'm not talking about just your occasional sadness, you know, that some people go through from experiences of heartbreak or, you know, not getting into a college. I'm talking about an ongoing, day in and day out, nonstop sadness. The thing is that for those of you who may not understand clinical depression, it's a chemical imbalance within the body. It's like any other illness. You can't just tell someone who has major depression to get over it and to snap out of it. It just doesn't work that way. And it's not circumstantial. You know, people wonder why all of these celebrities who have so much money, so much power, so much fame, why do they take their life? It's because of depression. I can remember experiencing depression all the way back in my Mickey Mouse Club days. And I didn't know what it was, I mean, because talk about, you know, taboo. Nobody was speaking about mental health, right? Except for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You know, I mean, that's what you related mental health, mental illness to. And I distinctly remember a depressive episode when I was on the Mickey Mouse Club, when I had first been cast, and I'd been there for a while, and I developed such an incredible relationship with Dee Dee and Tiffany, and they somehow just instantly became my sisters. And it was during the time when they started looking to cast the singing group, The Party. And I was told that Tiffany and Dee Dee had made The Party, and I was devastated. It had nothing to do with the fact that I was hoping to be in The Party as well. It really had to do with just this deep sadness that I had. I felt a loss, like a mourning. And for weeks at a time, I would sit in my bedroom and I would cry. And I knew that they were coming back to the show. I knew that they would be there with me, and they were still living in Florida, but I would sob. I would sob and mourn them as if they died. And I just chalked it up to being an emotional teenager, you know, an emotional teenager on TV who was really overly dramatic. And now, obviously, I realized that my response to that was so not normal. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't even tell my mom and dad. They had no idea. I didn't understand it, and I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed of my over-dramatized, constant sadness. According to the World Health Organization, there are 300 million people in this world that suffer with depression. And less than half get treated. Less than half. There are a lot of people walking around with depression. Your neighbor, your spouse, many of us are unaware that we deal with it. Many of us are in denial. And many of us are just too afraid to speak about it because we're afraid of what people are going to think of us. I have friends who have spouses that don't know that they suffer with depression because they're too afraid of what their spouse will think, that they're not perfect enough, that they're not the perfect mother. Guys, your spouse, your partner, that is the one that you should be able to share this with. I understand that words can hurt, but they're just words. Okay? Your healing is so much more important than caring about the judgment of other people. And here's the thing, that most of those people, we have to have mercy for them because if you've never been through depression, you don't understand what it's like. You don't understand that it's a prison. That you want to be joyful, you want to celebrate, you want to live life, but you can't. There's something internally inside you that just doesn't allow you to have the joy. If there's one thing that I want to leave with you guys today before, if you don't remember anything that I say, the one thing that I want to share with you or anybody else that you know who may suffer with depression or mental illness, any other mental illness, anxiety, bipolar, schizophrenia, all of it, you have nothing to be ashamed of. Do you hear me? You have nothing to be ashamed of. And the longer you keep your struggle a secret and in the dark, you're going to stay sicker longer. I know that. I just want to share with you a list. It's not exhaustive. And I'm really doing this because I really feel like as a community, as people, we need to stop being so afraid of talking about our faults and the things that we deal with. Jennifer mentioned authenticity. That's what this is about. If we're not authentic, how are we going to help other people? Nobody cares if you're perfect. Nobody wants to hear your story if you're just about perfection. Okay, people want to know that you've been through the ringer too, and that you can encourage them. Okay? So throw perfection out the window. Here's a list that I'd like to inform you of, and again, it's not exhaustive, but it's a list. So number 1, has your sadness ever persisted for 2 weeks or more? Uninterrupted. Number 2, do you have a loss of interest or pleasure in most all of the activities that you once enjoyed? Number 3, are you constantly fatigued? Number 4, do you sleep too much or do you experience insomnia? Number 5, do you lack the desire to eat or are you overeating? Number 6, do you have difficulty concentrating and making decisions? Like your brain is just in a cloud, in a fog. Number 7, do you often experience feelings of sadness, hopelessness, numbness? I know for me, my depth of sadness morphed from the sadness into just a sense of a flatline. I was just completely numb. I could have won the lottery, $1 billion, and completely unemotional. And I didn't show that to people outside because I knew well enough in my mind to not show that side of me. But I'll tell you what, my poor husband, he saw the real Mylin. He saw the sad, numb Mylin. And thank God for him because we've been married for 20 years and he's stuck by me. I digress. So do you experience these symptoms? Do they sound familiar to you? Be honest with yourself. Be honest with someone that you love, who you know, you could trust. And then once you figure it out, go to your doctor. Okay? Go to your doctor. Talk to your doctor. Tell your doctor what you're experiencing, and he or she is going to put you on the right path. Now, I'm coming to full circle, and I want to share my celebration in this story. With my faith in Jesus, He has given me and guided me in every single step. It's taken a long time, okay? But I'm thankful for that journey. He's given me therapy. He's given me prayer. He's given me my Bible to read scriptures, to fortify me in those times when I am down, and to bring solace and peace to my heart when I was in my depths of depression. He gave me an amazing husband, and He gave me an awesome family who was there to support me. And ultimately, in the end, He led me to the right medication, the right antidepressant medication. And I have been free of depression for 6 years. It's amazing, guys. That's why I would celebrate last night, party last night, have fun, get crazy, because of my freedom from depression. That was the real me. That was who God created me. Had I been here 10 years ago, I probably wouldn't have been on that dance floor. And I probably would have seen everybody and been so heartbroken and just crying and crying because of my depression. So I'm here today to share, and I'm so grateful to be able to share my story of healing with you. And guess what? There's healing for you too. Okay, those of you who struggle, those of you who have family members who deal with this, you are not alone. Okay, there's treatment, and that's what's the amazing thing. So take the first step. Stop denying it. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. Do not listen to the naysayers who have no idea what they're talking about. And get the help you need, okay? If I can do this, you can do this. Because I know there's freedom. There's hope for you too. Do not give up. Do not give up. If any of you want to talk about this, or you would like prayer for your struggle, I'm here to pray for you. God bless you guys. God bless you in your journey to wellness. Thank you.